Alright, hello everyone, what's up fellas and fellers? We're back with more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy episode. I think we're on 6, but it might be 7. I have forgotten. That's okay, we're getting back into it, dude. So we gotta talk to you about the case. I think we should focus on finding more information about the case. Hold on, I gotta move this over here so I can see. Okay. You seem to be having fun. Of course! This is my first criminal investigation! And it's so mysterious. A noodle stand pushing a dead man along. I think it was the other way around. The dead man was pulling the stand. But you're right about it being mysterious. I knew it! More information, that's what we need. Okay, so then what? More information. I present to you white powder. What's that, Polly? Oh, okay. So I don't present that to you. Maybe we can present... Oh yeah, that's right. We're supposed to go back to the park and then present the white powder to the lady so that she can get a good old snort out of it. That would be Kataki Mansion, and then from there, the park. I present to you white powder. Does this ring any bells? Ah, is that? It couldn't. Where'd you get that? I brought it from the office. You work at the Wright & Co. law offices, yes? Yeah, sort of. Detective Sky, how do you know my daddy? Daddy? I'm sorry, who did you say you were? Trucy Wright, Phoenix Wright's daughter. What? Mr. Wright has a daughter? You seem shocked. Well, if you're Mr. Wright's daughter and you're his apprentice, then I'm available to help you in any way I can. Oh, thanks. You can start by not calling me Mr. Wright's apprentice. This powder is used for detecting fingerprints. Fingerprints? I guess you might call it a memento from the time I spent with Mr. Wright. White powder memories. If you find any evidence with fingerprints on it, please let me know. We'll test for prints. Well, she's quite the eager beaver all of a sudden. Alright, any evidence with fingerprints? Understood, let's examine. Like, actually examine this time. I mean, obviously this, we're gonna have to dust that for prints, no doubt. It's a knife! A shiv, to be precise. Ooh, lingo. The defendant, Waki Kataki, is the son of known gangsters. The police are assuming this belongs to him. Wait, but wasn't the murder weapon a pistol? Huh? Look at this. There's a handprint on this shiv. A handprint? Then there might be a fingerprint. Let's investigate. Okay, they're doing it for me. Right. First, choose the fingerprint you want to examine. Choose a fingerprint? Look closely at the handle. See, there's more than one fingerprint there. Those black spots? That's right. Pick the one you want to analyze. Okay. Dude, it is so hard when, Emma and Trucy are in the same spot. We're gonna have to figure something else out for that in terms of voices. Right, let's get detecting. Wow, she's practically glowing with excitement. First, sprinkle some aluminum powder over the print. With a press of X, like this, see? The oil left by the print absorbs the aluminum powder, so you just dust it on and blow it off. Blow? Blow as in white powder? I get it. It's like whistling. You know how to whistle, don't you? Just use triangle and... Wow, amazing! It's like magic! Huh, isn't it though? Right, let's give it a shot. Incidentally, it's important that you cover the entire fingerprint with the powder. Okay, but there's nothing. So, all the way over here, I don't even see... Ooh, let's go all the way white on this one, dude. I gotta... Uh-oh, little bit of OCD kicking in. We can get a fully blank white screen if we just keep this up, dude. That's so desirable right now. You have no idea. Oh my god, I'm fulfilling my destiny as we speak. Okay, we're so close. Okay. Alright, now let's blow. Why is that humongous? Blow again. Keep blowing. Why was that so humongous, dude? I was kind of joking with like doing the whole screen, but I wasn't far off. Good, clear, quite impressive. Next, to match the print. The police office has samples so you can tell whose finger this print belongs to. That doesn't sound like as much fun as actually finding the print. Okay, well you cut off the tip, bro. You can't just cut off a man's tip. Okay, pick the person whose print you think this is. You probably have a good idea whose knife this is already. Well, yes, Waki Kataki, because that's what she just said. Oh no, actually, it's you, because you're the one who has the knife, though. But it's a different knife, because you, like... She's been brandishing it while she's been talking to me the whole time. You know, so, like, why would it be there? Oh, you're Waki Kataki. Okay, yeah. Correct. Analyze. Ooh, that's a match, bro. Comparison complete, match found. So, the fingerprints do belong to the defendant. Yes, isn't it amazing? Ah, the power of science. It's my life. Apollo, she's sparkling. And I'm dimming. Look sharp, spirits up. Oh, look sharp, spirits up. The real fight is yet to come. Chin up, Polly. The trial hasn't even started and I'm already losing. Alright, knife added to the court record. That's pretty humongous to be, like, when I think of a shiv, I think of like a fucking toothpick that they use in prison to shank each other. They should call those shanks. Because that's what you do with it, you know? Okay, can we now talk to you about stuff? Or maybe let's just examine everything first. Alright, the bucket. And this is Mr. Eldoon's noodle stand, obviously. It does say Eldoon in big letters, doesn't it? And that mark on his paper lantern there looks familiar. It's gonna be a little weird telling him, what with the corpse and all. Anyway, that wraps up 3 of our cases. That's right! Congratulations, Apollo! And leaves us with one case that's worse than all 3 put together. Murder. Blue tarps have been placed on the ground around the stand. Apollo, I bet the victim was going to have a picnic here. I guess he could have eaten all the noodles he wanted. Don't touch those. Those are preserving the crime scene. Oh, I guess the police put these tarps here after all. Okay, we did that whole thing. And we got you. This mannequin is dressed up to look like a police officer. I've seen one at the station. A mannequin in place of a body. The body of the victim has already been removed. Do you think the victim was the noodle stand thief? What? You think someone killed him because he stole it? Yeah. Taking care of business, Little Plum Kitaki style. Try not to sound too eager about that, please. There's gotta be a good clue or two around here. You and your trash cans. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Please, can't you see I'm doing my... Huh? Look! Another pair of underwear! Wow, Apollo, you're a genius at finding panties. Stop saying that. Wait, these aren't... They're not mine. Could these have been stolen too? Well, that one lady had her bloomers stolen as well. The other Kataki lady. I guess we'll have to go show them to her. I'm sure she'll be thrilled. Hey, I found these. Happen to have them on me. A knife is sticking straight into the ground. With the defendant's fingerprints on it, which means... You think he stuck it into the victim? I don't know what he did with it, but I don't like it. Okay, and then what are we examining over here? A bench? Benches line the river running through the park. Ah, a little urban oasis. I bet children come here to splash around in the water. That river's a little deep for splashing, and a little dirty. Well, they could listen to the water and pretend they were playing. Rereads are helpful sometimes. Okay. Let's go talk to somebody. The report came in late last night. The body was found much as you see it now. Except it was a real body. But why? Why was a body pulling a noodle stand? If I knew the answer to that, I wouldn't still be here. Well, what was the cause of death? A bullet wound to the temple. He was shot by a pistol. I mean, I think he was shot by a person holding a pistol, but that's fine. A pistol? Not the easiest thing to come by in this day and age. Unless you're a cop or a gangster. True, because this is Japan. Incidentally, the victim's name was Pal Maractus. I just received the autopsy report, in fact. Maractus's autopsy report added to the court record. Time of death, June 14th after 10 p.m. Cause of death, single bullet to the right temple. Didn't we already have that dude in my court record for some reason? I mean, really, what's up with this case? It's enough to make me want to run off, pulling a mysterious noodle stand behind me. Not so mysterious, actually. We should tell her, Apollo. After all, we know where the stand came from. A likely story. I didn't come here to play games, you know. Actually, we do know where the noodle stand came from. The noodle stand's owner is... Guy Eldon. Take that, bitch! Yeah, I fucking owned you with that info. Who's the old guy? This is the proprietor of Eldun's Noodles, Mr. Eldun himself. He's famous in this part of town. Not bad. I guess Mr. Wright picked the right kids for the job. That saved me a lot of work. Thanks. What sort of person was the victim anyway? You mean what did he do? He was a doctor. A doctor? I'm starting to see a connection here. Who? Me? I'm just a supervisor for this crime scene. Detective Sky. I was out of the country for a while. I came back to be a forensic scientist. Ooh, were you studying abroad? Something like that. I was studying in Europe. Forensic sciences, mind you. But when I got back here, they threw me in criminal affairs, just like that. Why didn't you just become a forensics expert in Europe? Well, I suppose that was an option, but I had a lot of favors to repay to people back here. Favors? Wasn't she in high school when she left? What? What's that look for? I was involved in an incident before I left. But Mr. Wright and his people helped me out. I owed them. Really? I had no idea. If she's been out of the country for a while, she probably doesn't know about Mr. Wright's current, state of affairs. Could you tell us a bit about the defendant? He's the only son of the I thought he was like, he's the only son of a bitch. I just, like, pre-read that? Okay. He's the only son of the Kataki family, yes? Waki Kataki. I don't know if he is the boss's son, but he's certainly throwing his weight around. Violently. In the detention center. I see. Why was he arrested in the first place? You are a defense attorney, aren't you? You're not his, by any chance. Actually, yes, I am. Well, we have a witness to the moment of the crime. Huh? The witness called the police. They'll be testifying during the trial tomorrow. What? Could you tell us a bit more about the victim? Well, let's see. Apparently he's the physician at a clinic in the area. Quite well off, too, from the sound of it. Yes, okay, he's the guy who drove the green car. The clinic's name is the Maractus Clinic. Maybe that's why the cop car was parked there? What? You've been to the clinic? Yeah, though on a related issue. I told the detective about the case of the stolen noodle stand. I see. So that means Dr. Maractus stole the stand and pulled it all the way here? That would seem to be the case. But why? Don't ask me. So, have you met the defendant? No. Visiting hours are almost over at the detention center. You might think about wrapping up here and heading over. Good idea. I don't know what good it will do. We have a witness and a knife with prints. Have I mentioned I've got a bad feeling about this? Don't worry, it's like a right tradition. Some traditions I can live without. Okay, so we're done here, and now... Unless there's anything I need to present to you. Oh, well, we need to go back and present the... Well, she's not here anymore, is she? Yeah, she's not there. Convenient. Maybe she's the witness. Damn, so we're gonna have to arrest her as the killer, perhaps? Or would that be too simple? Alright, let's go to the agency. And then let's go to the detention center. June 15th, detention center, a visitor's room. I'm sorry, meeting hours for the day are all done. But we still have 3 minutes! I'll put in your request, but don't expect anything. The father's talking in the private room with him. The father? You mean like a priest? I mean the suspect's father, Mr. Winfred Big Wins Kitaki himself. Not someone I care to meet. Die, you! You're the one on your way out, old... Ah, they're here. Oh, okay, that's cool. Whoa, this guy radiates power. Power. With a cute apron? You Wookiee's lawyer. Yes, sir. Well, I'm Big Wins Kitaki, 4th head of the Kitaki family. Capiche? Actually, I came to speak to your son. Mr. Justice. Yes? My son's innocent. He killed no one. If he were found guilty, it wouldn't be good. Capiche? Yes, I'm all about capiching. Capished loud and clear. You gotta do more than just understand to make it. You'll learn, though. Even if the lesson comes at the end of your short life. I don't feel so good. What's the big idea, old man? Okay, so what do we do for you? We already got like a New York voice on Eldoon. Otherwise, I would kind of default to like sort of like that gangster, like, you can't treat me like a kid no more, not now. Oh, we could go like more Joey though. I feel like that'll get confusing. It's like, you can't treat me like a kid no more, not now. Or we could, oh, you know what? He kind of, oh, wait, okay. You can't treat me like a kid no more, not now. Yeah, okay, we're gonna make him OG Meowth from Pokemon. You know why? I wanted to go to the Clink. I like it here. You must be Walkie? A G's not a G till he does hard time. Bizoy. Whatever that means. You'll see, when I get out of here, things'll change. Silence. My apologies, Mr. Justice. He's usually such a nice boy. Forgive me if I have a hard time believing that. Ha! You can't take me under your wing this time, old man. You heard me. I don't need no trial. I did it. I think that's enough for today, Mr. Justice. Don't let me down tomorrow. So much for talking to our client. But we made so much progress today. We even found my panties. I had fun, at least. Of course, the biggest mystery of all remains, how am I supposed to build a case for the trial? Oh, almost forgot, it's time for my show. Tonight I'm performing at the Wonder Bar. You should come check it out. To be continued. We need to get that Pikachu. Alright, trying to keep that voice in my head now. I haven't done it in a while. Continue the next chapter. Yes, sir. It's another chapter. Oh, well, I guess, okay. I understand. June 16th, 9:46 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Huh, Mr. Wright's not here today? He said his old foot injury was acting up. Old injury? He was all smiles yesterday. Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine as long as you're there, Trucy. Yes, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes justice. I started my voice training at 5 this morning. Ooh, do some now. I want to see. Here. Huh? Oh, okay. My name is Apollo Justice, and I'm fine! That sounds more like a self-mantra than voice training. I'm fine. I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? Who is that? Oh, that's you. Okay. Good morning. Yo, sup? Hit me with the guilty verdict, G. See if I care. You just hang loose and let things go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Walkie, don't be running your mouth like that in here. See, that's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops. Real G's can't keep it real till they spend some hard time in the pen. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Sounds like they've both been voice training too, Apollo. My worst fear is realized. The trial's starting and I still haven't had a real talk with my client. June 16th, 10 a.m. at District Court, courtroom number 4. Okay, so he probably just wants to say that he did it so he can get street cred or something. Court is now in session for the trial of Walkie Kataki. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready to rock and roll, Herr Judge. Ah, it's him, the guy from yesterday. He's a prosecutor? It's Mr. Gavin's brother. Long time no see, Prosecutor Gavin. Were you taking a leave of absence? You know that little band I started in my free time? Thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say 9 to your fans when 3 of your singles go platinum, ja? I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. I feared that you might still be distraught over that one trial. Not to worry, Herr Judge. I wouldn't miss this day in court for the world. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, ja? How could I pass up a chance to see the true strength of the little boy who bested my bro? It was worth canceling a show or two. Okay, I know that he's clearly German at this point, but I don't want to give him Francisca voice just in case she shows up in this trilogy. I don't know if she does or not. Don't tell me either way, but yeah, I want to save that for her. You may give your opening statements to the court. And as far as accents go, I generally only have one voice per accent. I'm not that seasoned. Before that, I was thinking, is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious? It is a court of law. That's no way to get the crowd jumping, Herr Judge. They're not supposed to jump. This is a courtroom. Achtung, baby! Today we play it my way! What's that noise? Sometimes you have to get on up in order to get down to prosecuting. This is crazy. The victim, Pal Maractus, director of the Maractus Clinic. Okay, real quick, let me show me my frickin' switching tabs here. I've never even seen this dude's face before. You are Pal Maractus, director of the Maractus Clinic, died pulling the noodle stand. Okay, defendant of the Kataki family, and Ali Tatiala's fiance. Fourth boss of the Kataki family, Waki's father. Where's an apron? Don't ask. Dude, this dude has no eyeballs, and it's perfect. That really works for him. Alright, gold record selling band. What? He just said he had singles go platinum. Okay, I wonder if she's the killer. And that's why she wants to defend him, because he didn't do it. But then that's pretty dangerous. Okay. The scene, People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand. What in the world was a doctor doing pulling a noodle stand? Yes, I believe you will only find that out by asking the defendant right here, right now. Because it's an undeniable truth that he shot the victim. What do you mean, undeniable? If you are to glare at anyone, Herr Justice, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. This crime was witnessed quite clearly, you see. Very well. Please admit this witness to the court. Nice. 9. Not yet. First, there is a little matter to be cleaned up. Could you talk without the accompaniment? I swear I could see the guitar for a second. What is it, Prosecutor Gavin? The motive, Herr Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maractus Clinic? Not so fast. The defendant doesn't have to explain that. Oh, but what if the defendant specifically requests to do so, as he did this morning? I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe he said. What? What is right? They always say that on stage, you should hit the crowd with speed and ferocity. Sounds like he got you good, huh, Polly? Well, this is highly unusual, but the court will now hear from the defendant concerning his motive in the crime. So, you, son, are the defendant. Walkie, are you? I ain't your son, old man. You step to a Kentucky, you best be prepared to step strong. You step to a public official, you'd best be prepared to step into jail. You gotta hand it to him, Walkie sure has guts. It's not his guts I'm worried about. Well then, the court will now hear testimony on the defendant's motive. From the defendant himself. I'll tell you one thing, that doctor was a quacker. Someone had to show him what's what. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my OP something bad. My op? Like operation? Oh, okay, yeah, I understand now. And then he just lets me go without a word. See you later, bye. So I gotta go in, get another doc to patch me up again. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG's gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. Know what I'm saying? You're saying you were one of the victim's patients? A lot of stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street. True that. I tell you one thing, that doc was whack. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about all this. Alright, I'll tell you one thing, that doctor was a quacker. Please explain further. First of all, the word you're looking for is quack. And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor. Who asked you, Pointy Locks? Just who do you think you are? Your lawyer? Look, I ain't trying to hear that. He was a quacker, plain and simple. Someone had to show him what's what. Alright. By someone, you mean... Was there anyone with a score to settle with this doctor? Besides you, I mean. You better ask somebody else, Holmes. What do I care? I made up my own mind and did what had to be done. Straight gangster style. But why were you so mad at this doctor? Yo, sit back and listen while I drop it, J-Man. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my op something bad. Explain further. So you were a patient at the Maractus Clinic half a year ago? For what reason? I had what you might call a mark of honor. Can you explain precisely what was wrong? We had a little run-in with the Rivales family. That's when I pulled a jack move. And ran into an ambush. G busted a cap right in me. According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting, and ran in 15 minutes before the appointed time, by yourself. Hey, I was more than a match for those guys. So you were carried to the Maractus Clinic from there? Apparently he was shot in the heart. Shot in the heart and he's still alive? I can catch bullets between my teeth, but I never learned how to catch them with my heart. The bullet stopped just short of my thumper, you know what I'm saying? I would have been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out a stupid bullet. So, as you say, this surgery was a failure. That ain't all of it, Holmes. And then he just lets me go without a word. See you later, bye. What do you mean he just let you go without a word? What do you think it means? It's whack, that's what. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad. It sounds as though Herr Doctor wished to hide his mistake. This is why he let the defendant go. He's a liar, straight up. He's a badder G than me. Okay, so I gotta get another doc to patch me up again. Press that. So this bullet is still... You know it. I can still feel it. Right there in my chest, pressing up against my heart. Your words are like a bullet shot straight into my heart. Or something to that effect. Incidentally, that's from one of our hit singles. Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice. Word, J-Man. Weren't no accident, that's for shizzle. It seems that there were issues with this doctor. Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favor. Walkie, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that. Chin up, Apollo. Back straight. But why did this mistake only come to light that day? It was found during the family health checkup. The family checkup? That was the wackest thing of all. All us G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Better to die young than fade away, bizoy. Oh, I get it. It's boy, but okay. This is like 90s gangsta lingo now. A relief to hear. Huh? Oh, what's a relief? Oh, did your father not tell you? That bullet you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you. What? Yes, Herr Dr. Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life. No way! That's whacked! There is proof. Your checkup report. Lucky's checkup report added to the court record results from a checkup performed in June. Metallic object found your heart. Okay, let's take a look at that. How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. Okay, well, I mean, there's other doctors in the world, I assume. Alright, Wakikataki, 19 male, report filed June 14th, notes, metallic object found near heart, urgent exam needed. Well, yeah, they were doing an operation to remove it, and then he fucked it up. He's, oh, I found the bullet during my surgery that was for removing the bullet. You're almost as careless as he was. Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started. Started? We've had enough of a warm-up act, ja? Time to hear from the witness. Walkie sure is quiet all of a sudden. I'm a little uneasy myself. Is this Gavin's strategy? What the hell is that? So, you will tell us your name and occupation. Are you like a priest or a college graduate? What am I looking at? My name is Wesley Stickler. By occupation, I take it you refer to some labor profit society at large that supports a livelihood under which definition I must confess to being unemployed. However, we must acknowledge the meaning of identity, which is commonly attached to this notion of occupation, and once we have accepted this reality, we see that our confusion is not gestalt per se, but derives instead from the vagueness inherent in all representations of thought. By which he means to say that he is a student. A junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in the Department of Science and Engineering. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, honing my... Herr Stickler, please direct said curiosity to the case at hand today. Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime. You ask, quite simplistically, what I saw. However, I must understand that Homo sapiens possess two eyes, and these are designed to receive and interpret data, sending images in the form of... Damn, typical philosophy student. That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping, when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot! The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Was there anyone else in the park at that time? I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not. The pistol our witness refers to is this. The court accepts this into evidence. Pistol added to the court record. Alright, weapon left at the crime scene. 2 rounds were fired. Fingerprints were wiped. Okay. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. Well, let's examine the gun. Fingerprints were wiped. Can we do, like, the fingerprint wiping thing during the trial? Alright, there's nothing to look at. Oh, yes there is. Whoa, don't point that thing at me! Don't worry, I can handle myself around guns. Magic guns, at least. The ones that pigeons come out of. Very reassuring. Okay. I guess that's all there is. Okay, yeah. Cross-examine the witness. Yes, sir, I shall. Yes, Your Honor. Trucy, why are you staring like that at the witness? That man. I can't help but feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Hello? How do I get to the frickin' characters? I want to look... No, not present. I just want to look at the court record. How do I look at the court record without presenting something? Alright, whatever. I passed through the park on my way from shopping when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. Saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. But it was dark. I mean, you still just, like, have to press everything, don't you? On the way home from shopping, you say? Why go through the park? A fascinating inquiry. Revealing me culpable of being insufficiently verbose? Let us consider the time saved by passing through the park on the way home from the store. In that time, I am capable of solving 2 GMAT problem sets. On average, it requires me 3 minutes, 24 seconds to complete one such set, ergo the time to complete 2 is on average 6 minutes, 48 seconds. However, in the case that the questions are in the verbal category, admittedly not... That's enough. Enough. I get the idea. Mr. Justice, the court hopes to finish cross-examination sometime this month. Please, I've a recording booked after this trial. And I've got a show to perform. Gee, sorry you're all so busy. Alright, one man pulling a stand, another man facing him. Let's press that. Were these men talking by any chance? Ah, now that you mention it, they were, though I cannot claim I heard them clearly. Only fragments, such as, you lied to me, oh, and I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, pal. It's just as our defendant claims. I believe he wished to teach the victim what it felt like to take a bullet in the heart. If that's true, then this is a vital piece of testimony. Sounds like he heard them clearly enough to me. Might I be allowed to amend my testimony? What now? To be precise, he did not say pal, but man. Yes, that was the way of it. I swear it on my diploma. What's the difference? And this other man, who was he? Okay, the man facing the victim was the defendant. Okay, so did he... The man facing him... Oh, so they didn't actually add it to his testimony, though. Alright. So quite clearly, the man facing the victim was the defendant. How can you be so sure it was the defendant? The crime took place at night. It would have been too dark. Perhaps I was remiss in not mentioning this earlier. Huh? You see, in class, I always sit in the very backmost seat. Do you know why? Who cares? Because I do not wish anyone to copy my perfect notes. And this relates to your testimony how? I mention this to illustrate my predisposition to that which is perfect. It was dark, you say, yet there are lights in the park. If I say the defendant was in the park that night, then he was in the park that night. It is a hard, immutable fact. He sure is confident. He seems to be telling the truth, too. In his hand, he held a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. Why'd you have to, like, think about that? Are you sure the pistol you saw is the same as the one just submitted as evidence? Am I sure? Surely, you jest. Or so a common witness would be tempted to say. Huh? Yet I am no common witness. I see not only events as they are, but the logical structure governing these events. First, we must consider the fact that it was night in the park, which indeed restricted my field of vision due to insufficient levels of illumination. Now, if we consider that the pistol, let us call it Object A, was indeed shrouded in darkness, it becomes difficult to say with certainty that Object A was indeed Object A. I think he means he couldn't see it that clearly. My badge for a normal witness. Yet the fact that a pistol was fired before my eyes is indisputable. I can still see it when I close my eyes. The defendant raised his weapon. A shot! The bullet hit the man, pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Pulling the stand from the front. That is such a vaguely specific detail that I can't help but feel like it's wrong. The stand from... I mean, well, this is the front, isn't it? Like, this is where... Is this not the front? Like, that's where you would pull it from, and that's where he was. So I guess that's right? From the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Oh, that's wrong! No, he got shot in the temple! Oh, I remember! Okay. Yes, I am Fantastico. I present to you... Cause of death, right temple. If that's all of it, I think I have a chance. Is that you relaxing, I see, Herr Justice? Huh? Oh, objection! Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice. Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet. Right. Look at this. The autopsy report? Is there a problem with the autopsy report? Right, a problem. Problem. Yes, the problem is the location of the entry wound. The location? You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not? Ah, I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not of geometrical absolute. What do I mean by this? For example, the deflection of a meter is the wavelength of the light emitted by a krypton particle, as we all know. In addition, it is a well-known fact that krypton particles are rare and invisible to the naked eye, which points to a basic fallacy in your line of reasoning, namely that Mr. Justice. Yes? Was your objection to these, krypton particle things? This is the big time, and you are obsessed with something so small? You disappoint me. No, I'm obsessed with something big. I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here. Do tell. Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple. Temple? Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly that the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction, isn't it? It is, right? Finally. Herr Justice. Oh, Herr Justice. Yes? Your tactics are outdated, trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles. Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago. Phoenix Wright, was it? Fatal? Oh, I'm sure he doesn't mean, actually, death. Okay. Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to his testimony. Nyerk. Hey, Herr Forehead. Forehead? Let us imagine you are walking to the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, Herr Forehead? Well, I guess I would try to stop them. I'd probably shout, "Stop!" And you, Fräulein? Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Eek!" And you, Herr Stickler? What did you shout, I wonder? Ah! If the victim turned his head at the last moment... Ah, yes, thank you for jogging my memory. It sounds like an addendum to the testimony is required. Alright, night the part 2. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. Cease this at once, you two, I cried, with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Let's see, if he was facing to that way, then if he turned and faced then that is still the right temple that hits him, depending on the direction he was facing. But, like, based on... I mean, okay. Now, here, okay, so, like, listen here, man. If we look at the noodle stand, you see that, you know, the victim standing here faces here. Now, if Mr. Stickler was walking from outside the park... No, because it's inside the park, like, he could have come from either direction, that's the thing. Like, what we would need to nail down at that point is what direction he saw them from. Yeah. So, okay, so then we would, yeah, pulling it from the front. So if he was looking at the noodle stand from this direction, then if the dude turned to his voice, then it would have hit his left temple. But if he was looking at it from this direction, then this testimony holds up. So I guess what we have to do now is prove that he was looking at it from a different direction. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. He became frightened to toss the pistol aside after removing the fingerprints? Like that quick? I see. So you attempted to stop the crime. Indeed, with composure. Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that. That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately. Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. Oh, here we go. Okay, if that's where he says that he was, then that is true. Like, that's correct. But I think we're probably gonna have to dispute his location. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it, stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of this nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer were to have fired at just that moment, as we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report. That does seem to be the case. Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. Alright, this is important. The only angle we have is that he was standing in the wrong spot. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. So you saw a raised pistol. Weren't you frightened? It can be said we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw that pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action. That was certainly brave of you. You might have gotten shot. You certainly were lucky. If I were in the killer's shoes, I certainly wouldn't have left a witness behind. He actually looks like he had no idea he was in danger. Regardless, I attempted to halt the bloodshed. Cease this at once, you two, I cried with composure. Are you sure both men were able to hear your voice? They were, of course. My high, exquisite voice echoed through the park. And the victim responded to that clarion call. Quite. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Let's press that. Did you hear the gunshot at the same time as the victim turned? Indeed, I would say about the same time, to be precise. And the victim didn't ask you for help? It can be said that he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step. I'm totally sure that the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him. Don't say that too loud, Trucy, please. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Can you describe the killer's actions more clearly? He seemed quite surprised, especially considering that it was he who did the deed. As we can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed. He simply couldn't believe what he had done. He shot, he panicked. A common tale, but true. Unfortunately, before I could take further action, tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. Yeah, okay, so I got a couple options here. Let's press this. You didn't try to apprehend the criminal? Okay, that's absurd. It all happened so fast, I'm afraid I hadn't the time. Doesn't something about that strike you as odd, Apollo? What? The killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So it's the fact that it has no fingerprints on it. According to the testimony, that's what happened, yes. In that case, I'd expect to find something that we didn't find. Find something? Find what? I like that contradiction. Kinda sad to see it go. Not as sad as I feel. What do we do now? At least the testimony is getting a little clearer. She's right. Maybe I can find something to use in this new testimony. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Right here, present the gun. Wait a second. Tisk tisk, another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse you can't see how it affects you. Come again? Wait a second, you say? A second? Are we intended to wait just that? A single second, 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes 35 seconds, then... Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor? Am I to understand you are objecting to the length of a second? Yes, I mean, no. Here, just look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it. Ah, a common ploy made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints. Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran. That's right. He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. Oh. Ah, the little girl sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there. I'm not little. Then let's think like adults, shall we, Fraulein? Ah? What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves? Okay, so I'm gonna have to end it here because we're at 52 minutes. And this lets me cut off at a point where as soon as I get back in, I'll remember exactly what line of questioning we're under. So that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.